This is Dan. Say hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing?
So he's actually over in London right now, and I'm just going to turn it over to you and let you go. Let you go at it.
Sure. Okay. Fantastic. Am I able to see anybody there?
No, just
no.
me.
Okay,
Yeah,
no worries.
How
are you doing over there?
Yeah, I wish I could turn the volume to the TV though. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But
can you hear me okay?
I'm on my computer, so
yeah.
Can y'all hear that? Okay, cool.
Okay, I seem to have lost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me okay and see me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you and we can see you.
Okay, I'll carry on as we are then. Cool, so how are you all doing?
All right. Great.
Yeah. Just before we get started, just to get an idea, how many, it's difficult without seeing, how many people have we got in the room at the moment?
48.
No.
So just get an understanding, how many developers would we say we've got in the room?
About 8.
Yeah?
About 8 right now, yeah. Yeah, about 8.
Excellent. Any of you kind of class yourself as designers?
Designers. Any designers in here?
Oh, strictly designers.
Yeah. Sounds like we're mostly code nerds.
Yeah, excellent. How about business owners?
Sorry, I'm getting everything set up. This is kind of crazy. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, there we are.
There they are.
Hey.
How's that? Can you see
How you
them?
doing?
Awesome.
That's a bit easier. Yeah, so how many of you would kind of class yourself as business owners? Yeah, a few of us. Fantastic. Okay. And have you got anybody in the room who would say they're users of WordPress?
Users, yes. Sure.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, excellent.
I was seeing Taylor Swift. How about that? Hold on. There you are. That was weird. All right, sorry.
So I'm guessing, am I on a screen behind me?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at you on the small one down here. This is all a bit strange. So I was checking out Greenville earlier. Looks like an amazing place. A bit nicer than where we are in London at the moment.
Or the clothes.
Cool. So as Cliff said, I'm Dan Maby. I'm from WP&UP. I also own a small WordPress agency. I'm going to talk to you tonight. I'm going to switch over to showing my screen so you can see my slides.
Go for it.
Bear with me a moment. Everything's changed in Google Hangout, isn't it? Okay, where is it? Right, can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. Okay, so you can see my slides there. Okay, so the subject tonight is going to be covering mental health as a topic. So I just wanted to offer this opportunity if there's anybody in the room that, if mental health was a trigger, if it was an issue, it's an opportunity now just to leave the room. It's obviously mental health can be an issue for some people, can be difficult to discuss sometimes. So just like to ensure that we have this opportunity, if there is anybody, can take that opportunity. I'm going to go straight into a very short video that we produced by the community. Because I'm screen sharing, I'm going to have to juggle with the technology at this end of the moment. So bear with me just 2 seconds as we switch over. Can you all hear that?
I'm
okay?
a WordPress consultant.
I'm a WordPress developer and agency owner.
I'm a WordPress designer.
I'm a WordPress builder of client websites.
I'm a WordPress agency.
I'm a WordPress designer.
I am a WordPress business owner.
We've built companies.
We've developed technical solutions.
We started from scratch.
We've designed to be inclusive.
We've worked from coffee shops,
Through co-working spaces and offices.
we've supported clients.
We are the WordPress community.
We've hidden our fears.
We've battled internally.
We've heard the ones we love. We've put on a mask.
We questioned ourselves.
We've not been open.
We've struggled. No one ever said it would be this hard.
We've learned new skills.
We've developed as individuals.
We've spoken out.
We've built relationships.
We've moved forward.
We've overcome.
It's a lie to think you can't achieve this.
As a member of the WordPress community, I'm speaking out.
Isolation.
Depression. Anxiety.
Loneliness.
Fear.
Our community's mental health needs support.
Statistically, 1 in 6 of us will experience work-related mental health issues.
Because I'm self-employed.
Because I'm a freelancer.
Because I am a small business owner.
Because I'm a remote worker.
Because I'm a solo business owner.
That statistic increases to 1 in 4 of us.
Help us. Hashtag press forward.
WP&UP are promoting and supporting positive mental health in the WordPress community.
And now is a time to have an honest conversation about our mental health.
Join your local WordPress meetup.
Attend, volunteer, or support WordCamps.
I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
At its core, WordPress is the community.
Okay, I hope you're all able to hear that okay at that end.
Yeah, it was a little jumpy, but it was good.
Yeah, we could hear it.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, excellent. Well, that was a community video that we put together sometime a couple of weeks back, and it obviously touches on the subject that I'm going to talk tonight. I just want to give you a quick bit of background. My background comes from strategic business management. I've been self-employed for about 21 years myself, and I've always worked and built teams around me. My personal WordPress journey started back around 2005. I needed a way to get my business online. I'd studied programming languages in an earlier period in my life. But I didn't want the overhead of building and maintaining my own site from scratch. So after trialing a number of other open source platforms, let's not talk about Joomla or Umbraco, I stumbled across WordPress, and I have to say I never looked back. After a successful exit from my business at the time, I decided to change career paths. So around 2009, I wanted to focus on digital. I started freelancing and building sites for friends of friends, and those friends had more friends, and over time it evolved. And I found myself becoming more and more dedicated to WordPress as a platform to build my company upon. Later, that business became Blue 37, and it's the digital agency that I still run today. I guess it was around 2012, I found myself wanting to connect with more like-minded people. I was aware of the community around WordPress through social platforms like Twitter, but I assumed completely wrongly that it was a predominantly US-based community. I couldn't quite believe it that we actually had quite a large UK community already in place. I stumbled across Meetup as a platform. On there, I discovered that there was a London-based WordPress event. It had actually been founded by Keith Devon, and the event was open to all. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to sign up, and I headed over to my first ever WordPress event. I arrived directly from my job at the time as an IT director, and I'm going to say it was a little bit awkward. I was the only person at the time dressed in a full suit and tie, walking into a room full of devs and designers. I felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb. But I got to say, the welcome that I received was absolutely second to none. I just instantly felt like I was part of something as I joined that community. At that event, the first WordPress event I'd ever attended, Keith had actually asked if there was anybody that was interested in supporting WP&UP with him. So in a room full of complete strangers, having never met this group before, not having no real understanding of what was actually involved, I stuck my hand up a little sheepishly. And later, Keith and I had a chat. We talked through what the community was about, what the event was about, what he was looking to achieve with it, how he was wanting to support the community. And that was me and my journey beginning to support the WordPress London community. It's certainly evolved since then. I've gone on to lead to support other WordCamps. I've supported WordCamp London. I lead the WordPress London Meetup. I volunteer and organise as well as speak at WordCamps. I've supported independent WordPress contributor days, and I've run free workshops throughout the UK. So my support within the community has grown considerably. At the time, I was coming from a perspective of not being a developer, not being a coder, and wanting to contribute to the community. And this was my way of achieving that. So my time in and around the community has enabled me to speak with lots of individuals, as business owners, freelancers, employees, both of small and large businesses. It's really been quite an eye-opener around the breadth of skill, knowledge, and understanding of people within the WordPress community. Back in 2014, I created a Twitter handle called it was @WP&UP. I felt it presented a positive connotation to support an issue that I'd noticed within the community back then. I pinged out that first tweet, WordPress, #WordPress and up, and it was left at that. As a small business owner, I understand the challenges, the highs, the lows, the impacts this potentially have on an individual from their mental health perspective. The seed for WP&UP had been planted, but it wasn't until 2016 that the true impact and the need for mental health support within the community truly hit home for me personally. By now, I was running my own digital agency, Blue 37. My business partner was my wife, which presents a whole set of its own unique challenges. I was employing people. We were employing staff at the time, and the pressure truly was on. This was the first time my wife and I had worked together, and being completely open, I struggled to separate my business life from my personal life. Having struggled with addiction in my younger life and all the accompanying mental health issues associated with the need to compensate and self-medicate, I started to recognize the dark cloud that was growing over me. I made the mistake of thinking, I'll be okay, I can handle this. By late 2016, I just simply couldn't. I was looking for a way out. My marriage was failing. Relationships with friends and family were strained, and I couldn't see a way out. In early 2017, I traveled to India. I needed to take a short break. I needed to have a complete digital detox and just shut down for a period. During this trip, my wife and I, we talked. We discussed a lot of things. We talked, as you do, on holiday often. And we decided that it was right for us to sell the business that her and I had grown together. And we decided to change tactics. So at that point, I decided I wanted to dedicate my time to WP&UP and bring a service to the WordPress community that would support a positive mental health. So please say hello to WP&UP. From that seed that was sown 3 years earlier, the desire to do something within the community back in 2014 had evolved into this. It was now starting to take some life, and it was based upon my personal experiences, my personal understandings and experiences of being a solo business owner within the WordPress community. Our mission through WP&UP is to support and promote positive mental health within the WordPress community. As a small business owner, as a freelancer, a remote worker, the pressures placed on us can mount up, and they can mount up without us potentially realizing sometimes. HTML, CSS, PHP, JavaScript, Photoshop, Illustrator, UX, UI, version control, DevOps, workflows, continuous integration. I'm sure you're all familiar with these. As a small business owner, I needed to have at least a grasp on these. But it wasn't just that. Let's throw in corporation tax, VAT, PAY, national insurance, tax returns, accountancy software, stakeholders' expectations, project management, content production, data control, security advisor. The list just keeps going on and on and on, the marketing aspect of it. As a small business owner, it can become very overwhelming. It can become very difficult if you're not in a position to be able to outsource these services, to keep on top of them, to maintain them. No one ever said it would be this hard. When I set out, I had a lot of discussions. As I say, I've been self-employed in one form or another for many, many years. Going into a new industry, there are unique challenges. So together, we can press forward. This is the mission with WP&UP. We are wanting to work with the community, to support the community, to build something that can really help individuals grow and develop within their skills, tackle issues that may be underlying, and support one another to develop a stronger community. I still run a small agency that keeps me very much within the WordPress world, but my focus has changed, and I've been building something more positive. Since late 2017, we've been growing a team of volunteers. This team of volunteers have come forward. They've been incredible so far to date. We've just had WordCamp Brighton the weekend just passed, and that team of volunteers has now grown to 20 people thanks to some of the conversations at that WordCamp. And these are all very early stages and very early days for WP&UP. I've given a number of talks on the subject of mental health within our community, and every single time I'm humbled by the response and the following conversations that come from them. There's such a need for a more open and honest discussion about mental health within our community. I've given similar talks to this with similar slides in them, and I've always gotten to this slide, and it was always a case of I got to the point where something had to change. I do believe we've turned a corner now, and we're at a point where something is changing. We've created a bit of a tipping point for WP&UP with the team that we're growing. It's a very positive point for us in WP&UP. To date, WP&UP has provided practical support through funding individuals for those of greatest need within our community. We've provided mentorship and guidance for many community members, and we're in the process of developing our 4 health hubs. The WP&UP Health Hubs provide education, training and support. We have 4 of them. So we have the Skills Health Hub, the Business Health Hub, the Physical Health Hub, and the Mental Health Hub. The overarching focus for WP&UP is mental health. We recognise, however, that individuals can potentially manifest mental health issues through many aspects of their business and employment. The Skills Health Hub, training, education and mentorship. The hub supports those that recognise they may have a skills gap in their abilities, and if that skills gap is impacting their mental health negatively, then we look to provide support, we look to provide education that can help that individual further their skills to reduce the negative impact that may be having on their mental health. Business Mentor Program and free training. The Business Health Hub is designed to support the WordPress business community. Our community is made up of hundreds of thousands of small businesses just like yours. We're made up of freelancers, small business owners, solo business owners, and again, it's about developing that mentor, developing that support mechanism for our business community. Accountability, exercise, health advice. Your physical health is directly linked to your mental health. Our Physical Health Hub is about supporting and educating. It's, for me personally, it's one that I certainly struggle with. I can spend an awful lot of time sitting at my desk, not getting the physical health that my body needs. So bringing this to the community, bringing education, bringing accountability is a positive step forward, not only from a physical health, but of course a mental health perspective. And fourthly, the mental health. For me, this is a big one. What's the point of doing anything that prevents you from being you? The Mental Health Hub is there for anyone that recognises the need to support their mental health positively. Anxiety, depression, loneliness, these are just some of the issues that can often stem from solo working. We're currently seeking funding to support a team of staff and volunteers to develop these services, and we'll ultimately be available to a global community. We're looking to work with strategic partners that both support and benefit WP&UP's mission. And if you feel that that's potentially your company, we would love to have a conversation with you. Reducing social isolation for solo business owners, freelancers, distributed team employees is a key focus for WP&UP. My own personal need to seek like-minded people back in 2012 has led to the development of WP&UP. The team of volunteers are now running events across the UK. We run an event every single week of the month. We're currently in discussions to support our first 2 events overseas, and we have a number of events planned for the upcoming months. If you're interested in starting or need help with an existing meetup, then please do reach out to us. We'll happily discuss ways to create a sustainable community in your local area. I've said it already, but it's important enough to say again, together we can press forward. You're not alone. It's okay to not be okay. WP&UP is a community-focused service. We'd love to hear from you if you think you could support, volunteer, or help fund the charity. If you're suffering with any of the issues that I've discussed here, please do reach out. I can be contacted on dan@wpnup.org, or we have ways to communicate to us via our website anonymously if you prefer. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions, and I'd love to continue a discussion relating to mental health within the WordPress community.
There we go. I unmuted us, so I had it on mute so it wouldn't mess it up. But
Yeah,
excellent. Man, appreciate that.
That was great, man.
Thank you.
Y'all got any questions? Anything?
Has there been any involvement from the official WordPress or the developing company?
The WordPress Foundation.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are we're discussing with them at the moment how best that we as a community through WP&UP can integrate with the global community supporting meetups and WordCamps, particularly because a big part of what we're doing around supporting events and running events. So we do both. We run events as well as support other meetup organisers. So we're supporting chapter event meetup organisers as well as our own meetup organisers. So of course the global team in terms of supporting WordCamps and meetups is an obvious place for us to be supporting because it's the ability to reduce social isolation, because often that's a key aspect for us, so for solo business owners, getting out and actually interacting with other people. That's why meetups are so great at that. I know certainly I had at one of our events a regular lovely individual came up to me and said, Dan, I always know it's time for this event because it's time for me to have a shave. So anything that we can do to bring people together and get out of our kind of our isolated environment is a real positive. So working with the global community is absolutely on our roadmap. And I've attended WordCamp Brighton weekend just gone. Got some lovely old coffee cups from the WordCamp team. It is about 11:30 at night over here. And I spent the day, the contributor day, with the community team, and there was some discussion around how best we can integrate the two services, because WP&UP is a registered charity over here in the UK, so we have the facility to support from a financial perspective, for example, if that's needed. Yes, great question. Thank you very much. Did that answer your question?
I know me and Eric, and I don't think you made it to the actual one, did you? No, but we just got, like I was telling you before, we just got back from WordCamp Asheville.
Okay.
So I know that was pretty awesome. There was some good talks there. So it's good to be around people. You know? Was
there much discussed from a kind of a well-being perspective of that WordCamp in terms of talks?
No, yeah, not really.
No?
Not really.
Okay. So we had, I believe there were, out of all the speaking applications for WordCamp Brighton, there were 8, I believe there were 8 speaking applications that were focused on well-being and mental health.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And there were a number of talks given, so it's certainly something within our community that's being discussed more, which is amazing.
Yeah. I would love to have a talk like that at WordCamp Greenville next year. Yeah, you could just come on over the big pond and make that talk.
That would be amazing.
Since you're coming to Disney, you know, I mean, if you're gonna come to Disney, you have to come to Greenville. You know?
I'll see if we can get the dates to coincide.
Yeah, you even said it looked like a nice place. I mean, come on.
Yes.
But we appreciate it, Dan. I know it's late over there, so.
No worries at all. No problem. I'm more than happy to jump on and discuss these things. If ever there's any, if anything, as I said at the end of the talk there, if anything has come up that's been mentioned, I'm thinking, you know, actually, I would like to discuss this. There are ways to contact us privately. Information through that you send through the website isn't distributed amongst a large team, so do feel free to contact us if that's if you do feel so inclined.
Yeah, I just tweeted out the link to the video, so hopefully we can get this video around.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, thank you. So this this press forward video that I showed at the beginning there, that was a community initiative. It was, I think it was 12 days from concept through to launch, and we sent out a few direct emails asking community members if they'd be happy to share their share in amongst the community, in amongst the video. Sorry, be part of the video. And we got such a large response from the community that we're actually developing 2 further versions of that video right now.
Oh, nice. That's on your website, correct?
It is, yes. Yeah, on WP&UP.org.
On their website.
Did anybody else have any other questions at all?
Dan, I need to kind of a question. I've got a podcast called The Strong Web, and kind of one thing I talk about is fitness for developers.
Okay.
So I'd love to have you on there to chat about the mental side.
I'd be absolutely honored to. Thank you.
Yes. I never really thought about. So
hey.
Figure I'd pop my head in the frame there. You go.
Yes. Yeah. Good to see you.
Well,
yeah,
I
no.
wanted to say thank you very much for doing this for us. I know it's late over there. So.
No, you're welcome. No, I say always happy to. So yeah, no, I'd be honoured to come on and discuss and take the conversation further on there if you like.
Awesome. Well, I'll send you an email.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well,
Is wellness something that's discussed in amongst your community and amongst the community over there? Is it
wellness?
Kind of the.
I mean,
I think it's dependent on which community. I come from Ruby, and in the Ruby community, initiatives like yours are all over the place, which is great. I think something like WordPress is probably less.
I think that on a whole, though, there is more discussion about overall wellness, but I think right now we're seeing a little more openness to mental health wellness in terms of an open conversation.
Prescription is much more expensive for us. It's a really unique challenge.
Sorry, just.
And prescription medication is a much larger expense for us.
Sure. Yes. And so that's part of obviously what we're trying to do here is ensure that we can develop something that's free of charge to the community. So that's where we're looking to work with these strategic partnerships to ensure that the partners are benefiting from what we're doing, as well as obviously the community benefiting from what we're doing. So if it means that we can bring that free to very, very low cost service to the community, then it's a real positive.
Anything else? Well, cool. Thanks, Dan.
No.
Back in here for that. Thank you. I really appreciate it, and thanks for coming on. I know it's late over there again. So.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thank you all very much. I really appreciate you all coming together and taking the time to listen to what I've had to say.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Well, hopefully we'll see you one day in person.
Yeah. Hey, 2019, March of 2019.
March 2019.
I'll email you about the date.
Do, yes. Yeah, just to make sure it doesn't clash with WordCamp London.
Yep. Yeah.
About the same sort of time.
All righty. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.